Welcome to Badger Beer Hour Special, the Great Taste of the Midwest Ticket Sale Day. Ticket sales go on, tickets are sold this Sunday, May 5th. During the show, I'll give a little history about the club that puts on this festival. I will speak to the ticket lead about ticket sales details, and I will also chat with this year's chairman of the Taste about online lottery and volunteering to help market the Taste. Without further ado, we will jump right in. The Great Taste of the Midwest is founded, it's put on by the Madison's Homebrewers and Tasters Guild. The MTHG was founded in 1983. So 41 years celebrating this year. You can find out more information about the Madison's Homebrewers and Tasters Guild at mhtg.org. Full disclosure, I've been a member of this club for more than a few years. I have many friends. Two of them I will introduce y'all to tonight. Madison's Homebrewers and Tasters Guild is the volunteer organization and nonprofit that is behind the Great Taste of the Midwest. The Madison Homebrewers and Tasters Guild is a local homebrewing club. This is taken right from their website, and nonprofit organization located in Madison, Wisconsin, which was created to aid and educate members in the appreciation and legal production of fermented malt beverages, including those brewed at home and those brewed commercially. The first Great Taste of the Midwest was held on May 7th, 1987. Here I have two excerpts from a book that was made, The History of the Great Taste, and shout out to Mark Schnepper for that one. My friend and former president of the MTHG. So here it says Hibernia Brewing and Isthmus Publishing join the Madison Homebrewers and Tasters Guild, MHTG, in sponsoring the premier event dubbed the Great Taste of Wisconsin, y'all. The beer tasting event ends a week of activities organized by the MTHG, with Governor Tommy Thompson proclaiming May 2nd, 1987 as Homebrewers Day. And you can see there, y'all, we have the 9 breweries that participated in 1987. The Great Taste of the Midwest 2024 edition will hopefully have 200. So we've gone from 9 to 200. And what is it, 40, 30 some years? All right. So that's just a little history. We hope here at Badger Beer Hour to be going deeper into the history of the MHTG and the Great Taste. Stay tuned for that. But for now, let's talk to the ticketing agent. I'm here with Miss Kate Stogger, lead. Hi, Kate. How you doing?
Hi, Greg. Great. How about you?
Good. Tell us who you are, Kate, and what do you do for the club?
I am a member of MHTG since 1999, and I am in charge of in-person ticket sales for the Great Taste of the Midwest.
Sounds like a fun job.
It's a stressful, fun job. It ends well.
Yes, it does end well. And it actually ends, or this portion ends on Sunday, and that's when y'all our in-ticket sales start. These are, let me go here real quick. So you can find all this information that we're about to talk about on greattaste.org/tickets. The Great Taste of the Midwest, again, as I've probably covered before this recording, is August 10th, 2024 at beautiful Olin Park, Madison, Wisconsin. This is my opinion, one of the best settings for a beer festival in America. And a lot of other people believe that I'm right. Our tickets are in person. We'll get to the lottery part later, y'all, but we're just going to talk about in person here with Kate. Tickets go on sale on Sunday, May 5th, this Sunday coming up, y'all. And we'll get to the locations in a second. See in the middle there, y'all, there are no sales at the gate. This is still the same policy as it's always been that I've been at the Great Taste. So it's been in place forever, for a long time. General admission is $70, y'all. When you roll up there, the limit is 2 per person. And then we have a designated driver bracket for $20. Kate, what's important here?
I think the one thing to know about those tickets is that when you are in line to buy tickets, you're allowed to buy 1 designated driver ticket per sale. So if you're buying 1 regular ticket, you can buy 1 DD ticket. If you're buying 2 regular tickets, you can still buy 1 DD ticket.
Okay, excellent. We will get into wristbanding in a second here, but one of my favorite things about the Great Taste is that the ticket sales are, they're across the board. They're in many places that Madison beer drinkers know. So here's where they're at this year, y'all. The Cider Farm, which is otherwise known as Brennan's Market, Giant Jones, the Malt House, Working Draft Beer, Delta Beer Lab, Carbon 4, and Vintage Brewing Company. So we will start at one of my favorite places to buy beer and to shop is Brennan's Market. It's on the west side of Madison. There is no camping there, y'all. As it says here, the line forms at 6 a.m. Wristbanding starts at 8 a.m. Ticket sales start at noon. There's a total quantity of 300 tickets there, y'all. Once you get your wristband, I believe I don't know if you Kate will figure out these details. I think Brennan's looks like it's open at 8 a.m. So you get your wristband at 8 a.m. and you can go into Brennan's, which houses the Cider Farm, y'all, on the side there. They have 5 local craft beers, they have 8 ciders, and they have a red wine. So if you want to, have a little drink before, while you're waiting for the ticket sales to start at noon, that's what's up. Brennan's has a bunch of parking, so that's not an issue here. And what did I get wrong, Kate? And what else do we know about Brennan's in this area?
Well, I hate to begin by correcting you, but Cider Farm and Brennan's are 2 separate businesses. They are in no way related, except they share a landlord, and they're in the same building. So the Cider Farm is a cidery. They grow their own apples. They have an orchard west of Madison that's open to the public, and then they make ciders and they sell them in Madison. This is their 2nd year selling tickets for the Great Taste of the Midwest. Last year, we allowed camping there, and it's easy because there are no other businesses open on Sundays in that immediate vicinity except Brennan's and Cider Farm, which makes it nice, low traffic, plenty of parking. This year, we aren't going to do camping there, but Brennan's will be open and the Cider Farm will be open. Our hope is that we have a good turnout. It's our furthest west and furthest southwest spot that we're selling tickets this year. They have 300 tickets, as you said, which means 150 people will be guaranteed 2 tickets each, and anyone who gets into line after that is at their own risk. Sometimes people do buy 1, but not always. They will be serving cider and beer. They have several beers on tap. They will be open at 8 a.m. Brennan's Market will be open at 8 a.m. So when people get into line, there will be beer, food, and restrooms available.
Excellent. We will move on to our next one, which is the Delta Beer Lab. That's on, I think we consider that the south side of Madison. There's no camping there. The line forms at 6 a.m. and the wristbands start at 6 a.m. And we're interesting, and Kate will address that. Ticket sales start at noon. We have 600 tickets there. Plenty of parking. It's kind of like a big corridor there if you've been to Delta. It looks like they're going to open at 6 a.m. for wristbanded patrons only. Looks like the first 100 lineup in the brewery. We got 14 of their craft beers on. They might have some of their wonderful sodas, Kate. I don't know if you ever had them.
Hmm.
And looks like food is available. And Capital Petra opens at 6 a.m. I believe that's what the closest place where we can get food, or why is Capital Petra there? And address, yeah, Delta Beer.
Yeah, Capital Petrol has all kinds of snacks and drinks and things, and they're just half a block away from Delta. Um, so this is Delta's third year selling tickets for us, and they were the first location to not allow camping, and that's because they have a landlord and several people share that building. Some of them do sensitive scientific work, and they didn't want people camping overnight. There also was an issue. They were in the town of Madison. Now they're in the city of Fitchburg. So the jurisdiction has changed, and nobody was really sure what the rules would be. So when we opened Delta 2 years ago without camping, we got a new demographic showing up for tickets, which was really exciting for us. That has happened a few times during my tenure where we've tried something new and gotten a wonderful new result from it. The people who came to Delta were older, more couples, people who couldn't camp out overnight, disabled. Anyway, lots of different people. It was wonderful to see. So we've expanded that, as you can see this year. Delta loves this event and loves to open early, and they are not restricted by the City of Madison regulations. So they're all going to be there at 6 a.m. ready to serve beer. They make quite a party of it. The first 100 people into their brewery, where they line up chairs, and everybody else down the parkway, some on grass, some in the beer garden, some in the parking lot. And they always make the best of it. They always have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's a fun place to stop for sure. So the next place is Giant Jones. Giant Jones is what we consider east side, downtown-ish, east side of Madison. There's no camping there. The line forms at 7 a.m. As you can see out of the parking lot there. I believe the parking lot is pretty good as far as I'm not sure. Kate maybe can answer that, if whether we could park there or not. Normally, I don't park there. Normally, I don't think we can. Kate's giving me a shake no, so don't park there. But that's where the line will start. As y'all know, Giant Jones street parking, if y'all have ever been there, line forms at 7 a.m., wristbanding at 8 a.m. Ticket sales at noon, like everywhere else that we've seen so far. Ticket quantity 400, excellent. But look at this. I'm excited for this. I'm going to make sure I'll be there. I will be there at some point. Beer, breakfast, and bluegrass bash, y'all. Live music starts at 10 a.m., it looks like, to 1 p.m. Giant Jones opens at Sunday at 8 a.m. for wristbanded patrons. Once you get your wristband, you can go into Giant Jones there. 12 local beers. I was just there last night. They got a really nice selection. And then food is available. There's a lot of different businesses close, y'all. Right up on it's not Will, it is Willis Street, isn't it? Anyway, Kate, take it over.
Okay. Giant Jones has 1 year under their belt selling Great Taste tickets. They had such a good time that they asked us if we could make more of an event of it this year, which of course we're always happy to do. So we gave them more tickets than they had last year, and they brought in a acoustic bluegrass band. They're cordoning off part of the street. There was a little beer area in their parking lot carved out last year. They're not going to do that this year. It's mostly going to be out in front. It is open to the public, including people who aren't buying tickets, but our people will be kept separate from the general public because they're in line. The band starts at 10. They're going to have food. They're going to make quite a party of it. I think it's going to be a blast. And they also decided they wanted to open early and start serving food and beer.
Yes, and a note that I would like to add is Giant Jones is not open ever on a Sunday, so that's another special thing. I mean, they were before the pandemic, but I think after the pandemic, they haven't gone back to Sundays. So that's another special thing I think that they're doing, just for this event.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So next one is Carbon 4. Carbon 4 is on east north side, I would say. It's over by, as most of y'all know, you can even see on the graphic here is the Old Lady Asylum. Many moons back at this point, Kate.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what Carbon 4 is offering us this year is the only site that's going to allow camping. So the line forms, y'all, 1 p.m. on Saturday. So you can make it a camping event, make it a whole weekend event. This is traditionally, when I first started going into Taste, this is traditionally what people did. And even if you didn't, camp out, you would go and hang out with your friends who were, and then you would come back later, or you would do some things. So Carbon 4 is bringing that old school, great taste vibe to the tickets this year, and that's great. So tickets, the line forms at 1. I would assume Kate will give us some more details here, but I would assume you show up with your tent. They'll help you out, where to go. They'll have some lines. They'll show you what's up. Wristbanding starts at 8 a.m. on Sunday. The ticket sale is noon like everywhere else. I'm seeing 500 tickets there, so that's a good amount. But when you enter the tap room, y'all, the tickets are cash. Kate can get into that, but in the tap room, y'all, they don't do cash at Carbon 4, so make sure you have your and there's no ATM, so make sure you have your cards ready. I would assume debit and credit. So it looks like there's going to be live music. They just haven't figured out who's going to be there yet, or by the time that we put it up on the website, Kate may have more on that. So the bar time is midnight there at Carbon, so you can be in Carbon till midnight. The Sunday opening is 8:30 for wristbanded patrons. They have 15 of their, wonderful beers that they have there. And then it looks like they're going to have food trucks, 1 on Saturday and 1 on Sunday.
How fun is that? Yeah, we used to camp everywhere all over town. And there were no sites without camping. This year, Carbon 4 is the only site without camping. And they're doing it, the old school way. People will show up on Saturday afternoon with their tents, and they will spend the night there. It's always a wild party. They always bring in food trucks with great food. Make sure you're not hungry in the middle of the night. They stay open late, and they open early Sunday morning. We have 2 porta potties there for the overnight people. And that is the only location this year where we have porta potties. They serve a nice breakfast too. Every year they serve a nice breakfast. So people who go there take advantage of that, because Saturday night is pretty rough for people, and we still need them to put their tents away and be back in line by 8 a.m.
Excellent. Let's see here. Next is the Malt House. Kate will give us the details on that, but I believe the Malt House has always been, at least in my sphere of the Great Taste, an outlet. But there's no camping there this year. I remember being there previously. Line forms at 6 a.m., y'all, so get there early. We're spending at 8. Ticket sales at noon. Sounds, kind of, in that barometer of where everyone else is generally. 200 tickets there, y'all. So 100 people can buy 2. No charcoal grills. I like to hear what Kate says about that, because I think that's the only one I saw that there. Maybe there's a tradition going on. Bill will open up the Malt House at 10 a.m. As y'all know, if y'all been in the Malt House, there's going to be 18 wonderfully crafted craft beers from around the world, around Madison, around Wisconsin, and around America. The Tablets, in my opinion, is one of the best that we have. And within walking distance, if y'all familiar with the Malt House, there's numerous places to, just jump off and get some quick food. What's going on at the Malt House, Kate?
Well, the Malt House has always sold tickets for as long as they've been here. And this year they decided that we wouldn't have camping for the first time. And they aren't going to open at 8 a.m., which means people are going to spend some time in line without access on site to food or a toilet. So they need to be prepared when they come. Although, like you said, there are lots of neighboring businesses who have both food and toilets. So they will be fine. There's a Burger King, a McDonald's, a couple of pizza places, Walgreens, all within a very short walk. The line can form at 6 a.m. There will be no parking in the parking lot. But again, there's plenty of on-street and parking lot parking nearby. They have fewer tickets than they've ever had before. So don't judge this year by past years. If you're driving by looking at lines, that will be important. So the first 100 people, like you said, will get tickets, and anyone after that is at their own risk.
Excellent. Yeah. Malthouse, yeah, y'all know going there. A lot of times, especially during busy times, the parking is limited. So y'all know where to park at the Malthouse. I don't have to tell you. Generally speaking. And if you aren't you know what I mean, like if that is a problem for you, then jet over to maybe the cider farm or something like that. So like where there's other places where there's more parking. But yeah, the Malthouse is one of them for sure. And Vintage Brewing on the west side, off of, it says Whitney Way there. Yeah, it is Whitney Way. I always think it's Gammon, Kate. I always get those two mixed up. But anyway, there's no camping this year at Vintage. The line forms at 6 a.m., wristbanding at 8, and tickets at noon. Kind of sound, same theme here, y'all. We have 500 tickets here, so that's seems like a good amount. Vintage opens at 8:30, and it says here, y'all, that the food starts at 8:35. They have 30 beers on tap. I believe probably most of them are vintage taps, which is award-winning. Craft brew, brew pub of the year a couple years ago. I personally spent a birthday there, so I highly recommend their food. This is just plenty of parking here, so we don't have to worry about that. Big old parking lot. And yeah, Kate, what's going on with Vintage this year?
Well, Vintage has sold tickets for us ever since we switched from liquor stores to breweries for our locations. And they have been a great partner all these years, and people love to camp out there. It's always fun. This year, the person in charge at Vintage of the camping is out of town. And so they decided that the best thing is to not allow camping this year, but we'll be right back at it next year again. They have 500 tickets, as you said. They serve a beautiful breakfast to anyone who is there longer and needs some food. And they have great beer, as you know. They're going to also open early, and they will be open to the public. So our people in line will be separate from the people who come in to eat. Again, like with every location, you're allowed to leave the line for 10 or 15 minutes to get a beer, go to the bathroom, order some food, but then you have to get back in line and wait, or you will be removed and not get tickets. And that's true here too. You can't go inside and sit down and have a leisurely breakfast and then come back out. But we do encourage you to buy food because it'll help you hold down the beer.
Right. This is true. So yeah, there's Vintage, y'all. That's another West Side option for us. And certainly last but certainly not least, is Working Draft. I believe, I'm not sure, this may be their first year. I'm not sure Kate's going to verify all that, but there's no camping there. The line forms at 7, y'all. So this is a little bit later than I think we've seen elsewhere. Kate can confirm that. So that's a later option for y'all. If the 6 a.m. is a little bit too steep, 7 a.m. is there. Wristbanding right around the corner from Giant Jones too. So there's that. Noon, sales at noon. 200 tickets. So not that many tickets, but enough. Enough. Sunday opening at 8 a.m. for wristbanded tickets. Wristbanded patrons only, it says here. 13 local wonderful working draft beers. I love their beers. And light food available. I'm not sure what that means, but y'all know what light food means. Probably like, donuts and stuff like that. Maybe Kate has more information.
Yeah, we were very sorry to lose Parched Eagle this year. We're all big fans of Parched Eagle. They sold tickets for us last year. Working Draft, it is helping pick up some of that slack. And they haven't done this before. So they wanted to be really sure to do it correctly. They have residential neighbors in the apartment building just next door. So they got a permit, and where you see that red line there is the area that we are allowed to have people waiting in line and drinking beer outside. So it exceeds the limits of their beer garden, but it's still in that space, and there won't be any parking in their parking lot. But as we all know, when we go to Working Draft, you can park all the way down Wilson Street. The line starts at 7, and please respect that if you're going there. Because again, we have residential neighbors on a Sunday morning. They don't need the noise and the disruption any earlier than that. And Working Draft is going to open early, and they will have some food available. Also, there's a gas station right behind them that serves food, and there are other places on Willie Street and always DoorDash or Uber Eats. If people want to get something while they're waiting in line, they will be serving their beer, and they'll have beer to go after the fact, as will many of the other locations. So if you're waiting in line somewhere, take a 6-pack or a bomber to go home with you to commemorate the occasion.
Yes, excellent. Yes, Working Draft. And I believe, that's the last one. So I want to thank Kate Stalker for joining us. Kate, anything that you think we should know about in-person ticket sales and anything we missed? What's going on?
Well, I guess I'd just like to reiterate that we sell tickets this way to support our local breweries, bring people to them that may not be familiar with them, and have people taste their beer and share their beer. And so we encourage you, while you're waiting in line, to purchase beer and food from these locations. And I know the bottle shares are always a big thing for people waiting in line, and that's wonderful and fun. But don't forget to be thankful to the people who host the ticket sales.
And on that note, I will thank you for joining us and bringing more clarity to this. Every year it changes, but we trudge on. We're doing this to make it more easy for folks to understand what's going on this year, as opposed to previous years, because things change. Ordinances change, locations change, different things. Hey, people go on vacation, Kate, so things have to, things get moved around. And that's the fun part of Kate's job. So one last thank you for Kate here. Any final words, Kate?
I just want everyone to enjoy the beer festival this year. We're so glad to have you. And if you see me on August 10th, say happy birthday.
And look at that. See, look at that. It's the cherry on top there. You get to spend one of the best beer days in the state. With all your friends, and all that hard work comes to ahead there, literally. So thanks, Kate, for everything that you do for the club and you do for Great Taste. As the Great Taste is 100% voluntary, y'all. As I covered probably before we do this, but we recorded this before the live stream this evening because Kate has things to do. So thanks, Kate. It's been great.
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, so that was a good round table, or round table with two people. Anyway, a good recap of the locations on Sunday. So now we're going to let's bring on the chairman of the Great Taste. Full disclosure, my friend Doug Randall. We're going to talk about the online lottery and volunteering. What's up, Doug? How you doing? Can you hear me?
Hey, Greg, how are you tonight?
Oh, doing great, doing great. Before we get to the online and the volunteering, anything you want to add on that Kate spoke about just there?
I don't think so. I think Keith covered all the in-person sites very, very well, and the reason for the changes where there are changes. I do want to mention that this is our only fundraiser as an organization, and this is what enables us to provide our goal of a minimum of $30,000 in charitable giving every year. That charitable giving stays in the community too. We try to affect things like food inequity. We give to WORT, the radio station in town, things like that. So we're pretty proud of that.
Yeah. Thanks for mentioning that. That's excellent. So, this is kind of new, this online lottery thing. It used to be a mail-in thing. What's going on there, Doug?
Yeah, it's our second year doing it. We're partnering with a new vendor this year, one that's actually more familiar with the lottery process. It turns out that marathons are also a lottery type entry. So we're partnering with an organization that got their start doing lotteries for marathons and runs and things like that. And they're excited to be our vendor for this year. I think it's going to be a good fit. Not that the organization that we used last year was a bad fit, but this is more tailored to our needs. It had been, prior to 2023, a mail order lottery. So what that meant is that you would mail in a check with a self-addressed stamped envelope. For those of you that know that as an abbreviation, SASE. A lot of people don't, though, these days, and it's a term that's fallen by the wayside, just like paper checks have fallen by the wayside. What would happen then is that we would do a random number generation and pull a random number, random numbers of those envelopes that we would receive. And over the years, that success rate was somewhere between 1 in 3 to 1 in 4. So 33 to 25% of the people that sent in would win. Things like pandemic and other market changes, the percentages are actually higher. More people that enter are successful in the lottery these days. And this year, just like last year, we're doing it from, as Greg has got on the screen there, 10 a.m. on Monday through 10 p.m. on Friday, the 6th through the 10th. So that's our plan. You'll enter your information in, you'll enter your payment information in, and then we'll run the lottery sometime the week after, and we'll notify the winners and make the mail order fulfillment. So we've got a team all ready to do that. We've got all the pieces are in motion. We have the paper tickets to mail out. We only deal in paper tickets. We do not do a QR code. So if anybody out there is seeing it on the socials where you're being offered to buy a ticket and they'll email it to you, that's not a thing. Walk away, or better yet, report it to us. Report it to the administrator of the page that you found it on. But that's our lottery process these days. It's much more efficient, and we're pretty happy with it. Just like a lot of other ticket venues, that's not the right word, resources, places to buy tickets online. There are fees involved, and those fees are not us, unfortunately. Those fees are for the vendor that imposes them. Furthermore, Wisconsin law actually requires that when a third party or a marketplace is used, and this constitutes a marketplace, that sales tax applies. Our not-for-profit sales tax exemption does not extend to that marketplace sale. So there are some fees. If you want to get past the fees and not have to pay the fees, come to the in-person sale, just like Kate was talking about, at any one of those 7 sites.
Excellent. Anything else on the lottery? I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, it used to be that you needed to be postmarked basically the Monday after the sale. So the first day after the in-person sale. And if you weren't postmarked, if you were postmarked before that, you wouldn't even be considered. If you're postmarked after that, the chances are long that you would be considered.
mhm.
These days, it's now a full week. So you've got time to relax, grab your coffee or in the morning or your
Grab a beer.
whatever in the evening and enter in.
Mhm.
You do not need to
Mhm.
enter more than once because we still only allow one entry per household. Um, and there are ways, even electronically, that we can identify those repeat entries. So please don't do that.
All right, all right. And then lastly, and I don't know if it's more important, but it's very important. You want to talk about volunteering.
Absolutely, Greg. We are the largest all volunteer beer festival in the country. We're very proud of that. We're the second largest, second oldest beer festival in the country in general, but we're the largest one and run entirely by volunteers. So we do have volunteers at greattaste.org as an email address that you can contact our volunteer coordination team. We are all volunteers, though. So if you send an email to them, please don't expect instant response. They will get back to you. We're still working on what slots we have open and what we need. Volunteer shifts are prioritized to club members first because we want to reward the people that are our own family. But we do still need volunteers from the public. That's just a never-ending thing. Our club membership is 325-ish members right now. Our volunteer team is 575 members. So not all of our members are volunteers, and not all of our volunteers are members. It's kind of a two-way thing. But we do use a ton of volunteers to make this thing happen. We've got shifts that happen before the fest, during the fest, and then after the fest, of course, for cleanup.
Wow. Okay. Wow. 500 volunteers. Wow.
Almost
All
6.
right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And it's 575, and that's before we add in the team leaders, which is another 77 people. So it's more like 650 volunteers.
Massive.
It's a Herculean effort.
How many? Yeah, we're gonna have we strive to have what, 200 breweries?
We strive for 200 breweries. We strive for 15% rookie breweries every year. The invites are almost complete. We're working on the last 3 to 5 or so, and we do expect some attrition over the summer. So there will be some spots that we're probably trying to fill even into the last minute. As we get closer to the fest, we look for people that don't have to travel as far, don't necessarily need hotel, probably already sell in the state of Wisconsin, because distribution permits through Department of Revenue or something that we handle for out-of-state breweries. If they don't have a distribution in state, so we do handle that as a one-day thing for out-of-state brewers. But when we get into that 11th hour, we're trying to fill those last tables. We don't have time to get it through DOR.
Amen to that. Doug, anything we missed? Anything you would like to add? We'll get out of here.
You know, there was one more thing. I was just thinking about it.
Because Kate talked about the wristbands, meaning you can't just get your wristband and just leave.
Yeah, so the wristbands happen twice, right? So you're going to get wristbanded if you're buying tickets in person. You're going to get a wristband then, and then obviously you'll have your wristband the day of the festival. I'd like to talk about both of those things briefly. When you get to the festival on the 10th of August, get a wristband. The first thing you want to do is get a wristband, and then you're going to get in line and you're going to wait to come in to the best day ever, right? Beer Christmas, for God's sake. Wristbands for Sunday morning.
Paper ticket to wristband.
Paper ticket turns into a wristband. We'll tear off the bottom portion. It is a physical ticket. We'll tear off the bottom portion. You keep the rest. You can put it in your scrapbook for those of you that are scrapbookers. But you're going to walk in with a wristband and you're going to be able to enjoy tasty, tasty beers. We do a different glass design every year, and we do different art every year. And we try to use a local artist. We're using a gentleman by the name of Eric Peterson this year. He was our artist last year as well. And so we're really glad to have him back. His art is phenomenal. He's a multimedia artist. So he does graphics, ink. He works in wood and all sorts of stuff. But he's actually was in Art Fair Off the Square this last year in 2023. So he's a great local artist. We're really happy to have him back. We've got a fun glass shape this year we're pretty excited about. That art also goes to all of our merch. We have a merch tent. If you haven't seen our merch tent, come up to the top of the hill. It's just off of the pavilion, and go check out the merch tent. There's t-shirts. We're probably going to do discs again this year. Discs went last year really, really well. So that's ultimate discs. So basic Frisbee. Although there's nothing basic about an ultimate disc, just before some haters come in. Then we're also doing, we did putter discs for disc golf last year. And both of those went really well. And we do hats and sweatshirts and t-shirts and stuff. Commemorate your festival experience. And again, it's all proceeds that we turn back to either club programming, which we're a club, we need money for our programming, but we also again do that 30,000 or more charitable giving every year.
Excellent. Anything else?
No, because I can't remember that one thing that slipped my mind. I think that's it.
All right. You know, when I hit end stream here, you're going to be like,
oh yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. That was it.
All right. Well, last time here for us to show, it's volunteers at greattaste.org, y'all, or you can find it down here at mthg.org, I believe, right? The volunteer information.
You can get a hold of us through either one of those. There's also greattaste.org is the official website for the taste itself. And right there it is on Greg's screen, greattaste.org/tickets. And that's where you'll find all of the ticket information, both the in-person sale and a link to get to the lottery and the lottery information.
Excellent. Well, unless you remember what you need to, we're going to get out of here. But I wanted to thank you and Kate again for joining us and bringing clarity to all this, because sometimes with all the changes, and it's just such a big event, you know, there's times where, you know, any kind of, you know, miscommunication could happen. So it's
Absolutely.
it's really good that you had time to do this today. So I'm excited about that. And hopefully this will replay, y'all, on Saturday afternoon on the same platforms that you saw it tonight. So if anybody needs if anybody wants to see this, you can also see it on Badger Beer Hour's YouTube page, which it'll be there. But it also will restream on Saturday for folks who may have missed it tonight, and the eve of the ticket sales, which is a whole event in itself, as y'all saw. As Kate, it's really an event that y'all, you know, it reminds me, Doug, of the NFL draft, where it's not game day and it's not like, you know what I mean, but it's the build up. It's another event to where we could all get together and celebrate, you know, the things that we love. And in this case, it's, you know, Midwestern beer.
Absolutely. We're proud to be in our 37th year, and we're going to be, so two of us, our club president and myself are going to be on NBC 15 for their midday broadcast tomorrow, local NBC affiliate. So we're excited for that. And it was a pleasure having the chance to talk to you tonight, Greg.
Well, thank you for, you know, putting us in the same category as NBC 15. That's wonderful.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, Doug. Y'all, hopefully we have a good day on Sunday. I will see many of y'all on Sunday. I'm going to try. My goal, Doug, is to go to all of these locations to see what's going on, get some interviews, take some pictures, and maybe y'all see some content from Badger Beer Hour next week about how it went on the ground. I'm always fascinated by, you know, the beer culture in Wisconsin, and here at Badger Beer Hour, if we did not cover the biggest and the baddest beer festival, not only in Wisconsin and the Midwest, with all due respect to y'all, it would be a little bit of a malpractice. So thank you for letting us pull that off here at Badger Beer Hour, and we will see you on Sunday, and we will see you August 10th. Many of us will. So thanks, Doug.
Thank you so much, Greg. Have a great evening.
Yep, you too. So the next Badger Beer Hour, y'all, is May 15th, 8 p.m. Central. And we will see you then. Have a great, safe day on Sunday. I hope to see some of y'all there. And on that note, cheers and pros.